using a dishwasher in an African household means absolutely nothing.
Facts.
Where is the lie?
Facts. There's a dishwasher at home, and it's only used when there's like a big party, function-y thing, and there's lots of many glasses, many whatever. But I don't even think that's a bad thing, or it's like because it takes so much damn electricity, and it's going to be on for many hours.
But why have it then?
I think they thought it was
fits
fun.
into the kitchen.
Yeah, it looks like
Is it just for the looks?
Yeah.
Like they were like, oh, it really matches this fridge, and we're trying to remodel the kitchen.
But let's not use
get
it.
So it's there, and it's just
Sitting
really
there.
nice decoration. Like it doesn't do shit. It
I
doesn't.
see I see that statement on Twitter all the time, and I see a lot of people commenting like, yeah, we never use it. But it's funny because I just went back home last month and I was washing a dish and my mom was like, no, just put it in the dishwasher. And I was like, oh, I have a different parent. But it's funny because the thing is we have like a chef at home, we have a maid, we have everyone doing something for us. And just once in a while, if my sisters and I like eating dinner, watching TV, and like the plates are there, we're obviously waiting for someone to come and grab it and take it downstairs because obviously we're not used to washing it. And my mom would be like, you guys are so lazy. No one does anything in this house. And we're just thinking, this is so weird because it's on and off. One day you're like, use the dishwasher or like
Next day
call the helper or something
like
to come and
one
get it. The next minute you're also telling us we're lazy because we haven't taken it down. So I think like they just have their moments.
Yeah, African parents love saying, you don't do anything in this house.
Yeah.
Even if you do, like literally, when I was younger, I used to do everything in the house. And I would leave like that one thing.
And then they
and she'll come. What is this? So I came home and I have to do this. And I was like, it's one thing, can you calm down? Like she would just literally destroy me if I left that one plate. I always have to come home tired and I still have to clean. I'm like, clean what? You're not cleaning anything.
She's saying someone we can't just do that one thing. I'm just thinking,
oh my god, they used to really
Then they like people like exaggerated as well.
Yeah.
African parents exaggerate like on a different level.
Yeah, very dramatic.
Because once I told my dad when he was giving me the whole you don't do anything, and I was like, well, you also don't do anything.
You didn't do that.
No, I was like, what do? You come home and you eat.
I was screaming.
No, I mean we had a conversation because like I came home from school, he came home from work, and we had sat together, we had watched TV, and we both had eaten, our plates were out, and he's like, oi, take the plates to the kitchen, go clean them, etc. And I'm like, well, and he gave me the whole you don't do anything, and I'm like, well, God, we've both had strenuous days. You also are not doing anything.
That's one thing I know about African parents. They think our stress is not the same as their stress.
No, they're stressed on a different level.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, when I was probably like in Form 5, which is like IGCSEs, I thought that was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
My mom just used to like, it's nothing, like everyone has gone through it or whatever. But now that I'm obviously in university, I'm just like, yeah, that's completely nothing. I used to write 750 words in like a month, and now I do 5,000 in 94. But obviously, there are different levels of stress, and that's something they don't understand. So he's probably looking at you like, yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
He's been at work all day, it means nothing.
Yeah,
It's
but
nothing
at
compared
that
to your
age, you're
schoolwork.
not understanding. You're like, I'm
Exactly.
grinding
You need to
all day.
understand.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Why are you going to this lessons?
We don't make it to 9 a.m., but still we complain.
Exactly.
Did you guys wash the dishes? Because I know in my family, the boys didn't wash the dishes.
Alright, bad.
Honestly, I was the only girl in the house, so it was like I was gonna have to be the one to wash the dishes. There was no running away from it. So washing the dishes wasn't really like, I was just used to it. The thing that annoyed me the most is, when you go to your uncle's house or your auntie's house, and you have food and everything, and then your auntie starts like, putting the dishes away or whatever, and then suddenly your mom says, oh, no, it's okay, Delilah's going to wash the dishes. And I'm like all over there in the other room playing with my cousins, and I'm like, why am I washing the dishes in somebody else's house? Like, that is the thing that used to annoy me the most. And then my auntie will be like, no, it's okay, she's just playing with her cousins. And my mom would be like, no, she loves washing dishes. And I'm thinking, no, I don't. I really don't, especially not when it's not my house.
Wash dishes.
Embarrassing.
For me, I was like, my parents from a young age, my brother, me, and my sister, like we all took everything, the house, the dishes, the cleaning, everything. We divided that, and I was the best one. But I'm
Okay,
Ali, okay.
No, uni was a game changer for me. First time, like laying my bed, cooking.
Laying your bed?
Yeah, I wake
Honestly,
up, go to school, I come home, done, AC's on,
Wow.
my lunch is ready. Like, when I came, I was now doing so many different things on my own. Like, really, I don't think I was dependent. I could have done it, but it was also just done that I didn't realize how much things were being done for me and stuff like that, because doing the dishes, I was not doing that at all.
Yeah, that's the same for me.
Yeah.
Like, I came to uni, I knew how to cook because I see, like, I'm there in the kitchen, maybe I'll help out, do whatever, but I never had to make a whole meal.
Exactly.
I came
For a
to
whole
uni
How
and
old were you at the time?
When I came to uni,
18.
yeah, mind you, and I'd been in boarding school
You
before.
guys didn't cook at 18?
No, but
I would cook like one or two, like if I want to make lasagna, like, and I think I'm doing it for fun.
yeah,
like,
it's like,
oh,
I made the mood for
let's
this
invite my
today.
friends over, let's do like
But it was never a thing. Let me come home.
You guys
And
had a
then
good
just-
life.
Man,
yeah, but not
cooking
because I
stories
wanted to do it
are
for the
horrific.
sake of doing it.
I'm screaming.
My cooking stories are horrific. Like I'm too embarrassed to even share them. Just know, cooking didn't exist in my mind until I went to university.
Yeah.
Wow. I started cooking when I was 10.
I'm a bit
But I
of a
think, do you
chef
think that's a
extraordinaire.
difference of like, because you grew up,
Yeah, I think
so it's a like, I think that
I
might
think
be a
it's
difference
very
of at home.
different because over here you also do things for yourself, like obviously taking the subway by yourself and things like
Yeah.
that. In Ghana, I'm not gonna be. There's no. Okay, we have a train system now, but I'm not even using that. I'm definitely gonna go to school with a driver, pick you up, all those things. It's just
Yeah.
very different.
But is that the same for everyone in Ghana though? Because you seem to have the
I think.
ability to do that. But is that the same?
Okay,
for,
well, definitely in my school, everyone, like, I would probably say 95% of everybody was getting picked up by a driver.
But what about the people that go to public school? Let's say in Ghana, like people that don't have the means. Would they have that same kind of like they have to go home, cook, clean the house? Because I'm assuming not everybody has a maid.
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
So would they?
But
have
I would
a
actually say a lot of people
But a
do
lot-
though. It's like someone who has a driver. It's not like it doesn't mean you're rich.
Mm.
It literally doesn't mean you're rich. It's just because it's a normal thing in Ghana. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
But obviously, for someone who goes to a public school, the amounts that they pay for their fees is actually much harder. Like I do like a lot of charity work at some schools, and some of them, like let's say the equivalent of their school fees is like £35, cannot actually pay for that.
Yeah.
So their life is completely different to what I'm saying. So they're not going to be using a driver. Like their parents might actually be the one. You know what I mean?
Driving them to
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I
No,
also-
like will be someone else's driver.
school. This one is interesting. There's no such thing as dating. You are either single or married.
Yeah, I agree with this. 100%.
Like, are we reading facts?
I really think. I
You
think
tell me.
I think with this, it kind of depends on your age as well, because obviously my older sister is 28, and obviously she can be talking to my mom about her boyfriend, or like if they're having a fight, like my mom is reading the chat, or like even my other sister who's 25, like when her boyfriend and her fight, her boyfriend will call my mom if my sister's not picking up. I'm not gonna be having that conversation with my mom, like definitely.
Because you're
I'm
not
not
that age yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm at that age yet. Like, I actually don't feel like what? Like, when I even make some comments, I remember the one time I made a comment before I came to uni that, oh, as soon as I get to uni, I'm going to be traveling all over Europe with my boyfriend. I thought it was just funny. It was just a very innocent joke. My mom cried.
What?
And then after, she went to have a whole chat with my sisters that, is this what you people have been teaching your younger sister?
Oh my
And that's what
Lord.
people do in uni, because they went to university in America. So it's like, it's what people have been doing in university, and why would she get the idea? So like, my sister didn't even know how to react, because they're just like, where is this coming from? Because
Yeah.
She genuinely cried.
yes, and my mom is not a crier. Oh. So
That
it
must have hit
definitely-
her hard.
It definitely took everyone aback, so they had to make a joke and be like, no, I was trying to imitate Haley from Modern Family, and it's just a joke, like.
Man, for me that was a fact. Like I know in my heart, even to this day, I can't speak to any of my parents about a girlfriend or like. I think it was even when I got here, I was like, wow, like, and one of my friends who's British is telling me how I introduced my girlfriend to my parents. I'm just like, what? I'm so
That is so foreign to
like
me.
it's like the ultimate culture shock, because growing up, like I can't bring girls over. Like I can't have a girlfriend. Like even in
Have
my
they directly told you that though?
100%
just
every
feel it?
day. Like I feel like it's not even a feeling. It's like when I question my dad, I'm like, Dad, surely I can't date to find the girl I want to be with. How am I gonna find? But that's like God will provide. Some like that. I'm like paraphrasing, but there's a quote in the Bible like that. But anyway, so I'm like, Dad, how did you find Mom? Tell me. And he's like, well, I waited 28 years and then I found her in church.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I still don't know the story of how my parents met.
They
Every time
always
I
do
ask
that.
her, she changes it. And when I talk about how, like, every time I go out clubbing, people are trying to talk to me, boys trying to talk to me. I was like, how was it like for you? She's like, me, I'm such a good girl. No boy could even approach me and things like that. And my uncle was laughing. He's just looking at her like, girl, you parents, they can be hypocritical sometimes.
Why do African parents always make it seem like they were the perfect child?
Yeah, my mom said she was head girl.
I know that they had fun and they did whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't like. So it even gets to a point of it's like, oh, but Nandi, why you always in work? Why don't you go and see people around the country? You're always at work.
Wow,
So
your parents
first
are
year,
different. They're different
I was here
breeds.
for 2 weekends and I was told, if it's money that you need for that train, tell us. Tell us, and you're like, no, this is the time.
So where are your parents? I need them.
You should go and talk to her like
You know what I mean? And you
Different.
come as well. Like, I need this energy.
Even at home, you're like, no, go out. You've come back from uni, why are you at home? Go out, go whatever. But it's also, at the same time, it's because they know who I'm with like,
Yeah, because you have your cousins around and stuff.
But
Probably they
like
just
different-
trust you as well.
so, but it will be a thing of, and so I'm always around, there's just no girls in my family, so I'm always with the boys and like all their friends and all my friends have
And you're
friends.
allowed to have a boyfriend.
No, well, so it's like, it's weird because then they say, so who are those? So they just are always with you? And I'm like, but the reality is they genuinely are. So I'll be telling them about like, oh, the club, this is like some part because it's, so what do you guys do? Do you dance with them? And I'm like, no, we all dance together. You're telling me all these boys, but Nandi, but you're telling me none of them are your boyfriend? So now I don't know, what do you want me to tell you? Because at the same time it's, and then at uni, you mean you have no boyfriend at uni?
That's the thing, you can never please them.
I can't even hear the word boyfriend coming out of my mouth. So you've
I was
done
told that
well.
I was lying. They're like, no, the way that I see you in
must have
Kampala with
someone.
Obi, you must be in uni just gallivanting. I said, I don't
Oh,
know.
my
Like,
parents have used the word galant.
I hate
don't
that
know where
word
it
so
comes
much.
from.
I hate
Like,
that
you're
word.
just galant. I'm like, what? When did you
Where?
hear that word?
Like-
What do you think it means? Man, I give the illusion to my parents that I had no fun. I hate it.
You just studied.
Because the one time, like, I was like, you know what? My dad, my parents, they made me feel so comfortable. And this was like when I was like 13, 14. They made me feel so comfortable. I could tell them anything. So I was like, oh, Dad, Mom, so I have this girlfriend. I told them all about her. And they were like, wow, that's really great. I'm so happy for you. And then I failed the test the next week. And my mom was like, this is why you failed. That girl is just distracting you. And I'm like, I will never tell you guys ever again. The only time I saw one of my cousins bring a girl over, like for Christmas, like a big Christmas thing with the family, and then he never did it again, right? So we learned from that. So he brings the girl over and introduces, like, this is my girlfriend, and we all look at him like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, all right, maybe this is the beginning of a brave new world, right? So he introduces them to my aunties, my uncles, and we're like, he's actually doing it. And then the second that the function is over, other events with just him, they're like, oh, so where's your wife? And he's like, oh no, actually, she's traveled, we're no longer together. And then the hate mail starts. It's like, so you brought her here and you're not seeing her, and then everyone's just like upset about it.
That's why I think when it's serious, and it's serious,
But
like you're
even
ready.
a serious thing can,
Exactly.
can
So
end.
So
So you never know.
Yeah, so we learn from that. Us guys are like, oh, bring girl, no.
But you also just don't want, as a parent, I wouldn't want my son to be bringing forth
girls.
every day.
I
a new
get that.
girlfriend.
I definitely get
I'm
that.
gonna be tired
I
of
get that.
seeing all of you.
I get
Like,
that.
you're just another one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
I get that.
No, I don't want my son. My son is not bringing home anybody.
Don't do that to it.
Guys, this is going to be the last statement. It's going to get a bit serious. Depression is a white people thing.
I'm gonna start with this one.
Okay, she's flicking the hair, so it's gonna be
Right.
good.
No, because funny enough, like, I know depression exists, and really and truly, let me be honest, I really felt like it was a white people thing. Like a lot of times when someone tells me like, oh, they're depressed, I'm just like, oh, okay, like yeah, I'll check up on you, but I didn't understand the extent to which it was such a deep thing. The reason why I said let me start with this because like when I'm here and I came to union, mental health is such a big thing. Like it's such a big deal here. The one time I was like, I need an extension. My friend was like, yeah, just go to the counseling and tell them that you're
Don't try this at home.
yeah, then like just tell them that like you're having anxiety or like you're depressed or like whatever. You definitely get an extension. I was like, okay, that's really deep. But I went to like my personal tutor. I was like, yeah, I just haven't been able to sleep and like I'm just so sad and thinking about other things. Yeah, they gave me my extension, and I was like, whoa. Like mental health is such a big deal because I was thinking this wouldn't have worked at home. Like it wouldn't be such a big thing. Like I feel like even when you hear someone wants to commit, I feel like now it's changing because of all this awareness being like even created through Twitter and different social media platforms. But I just feel like it's just very different. Like at home, back home, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I just think generally, to generalize the whole thing, I think it's even weird if you say you want to go and see a therapist. And a lot of people actually go through things at work, not getting paid, not having enough money, paying your child's school fees, health. Like there are a lot of things that people are actually going through, but it's like they don't have anyone they can actually speak to about it because like it's kind of seen as like a taboo to like go and see a therapist. Like why are you talking to a stranger about your business?
I think like I'll speak from like my experience, not within my family but within like my country and what I've seen back home, is that mental health really doesn't exist unless like you're actually naked in the streets walking around like aimlessly, because that is very frequent back home. And I feel like people don't really place much importance to it. People have other problems like money, rent, food, putting food on the table, and not realizing that mental health really is important because it really affects your ability to do all of those things. So but now what I've noticed is within the young generation especially, there is more of an awareness. Like if I watch like Gambian YouTubers, like, and there's always like a talk on mental health. When we talk among our friends, like we're aware and cognizant of the issue. But for the most part, I feel like white people have realized that mental health is a human thing rather than a white people thing, and I think that's what we need to like adopt. And because back home, like for me at least, there's not much being done, and there's so much more that could be done. And it's a bit sad to be honest.
And you look at the extremes, like we were saying, like it's always like it has to be someone who's mad, like literally a mad person, or like if you don't want to get to the point where it's too late, the person now commits suicide and you now say, oh, we should have helped the person. Like we can do something about it now because it's really such a big deal. Like all these things are affecting us. It's actually stressing your brain out, stressing your mind out and things like that. That's how people end up drinking or resorting to something else because they need to find another, like an easy way, a fast way to get rid of the pain that they're feeling, which is talking throughout. And I guess like sometimes, I'm not sure about every African home or something, but you also just can't confide in some people in your family or like friends because they might just use that as gossip or just to hear whatever they want to hear and take it out. They're not really there to help you and check up on you. And everybody's going through their own things. You can't really also rely on someone to always be there for you when you need them to be there for you.
Yeah, I think that in terms of like defining an illness, like if you get sick in an African household, like it's you have a cough, you go to hospital, you get something, or if it's something more severe, maybe you get a surgery or you get a specialist, like that's an illness. But then when you think of mental health, especially the way we've come to learn about it, it's not like an illness. Like you can't see it, you can't like diagnose it. You can't put a thermometer and be like, oh, you're X amount of degrees. Exactly. So because it's like that, and I think it's also like a problem, in Western society as well to some extent. You can't really like a lot of people will be like, oh, you have depression or anxiety. Well, why don't you just do your exam, or why don't you just go on with life? But it's like in the sense that an illness is an illness, you need to get treatment. Similarly, anxiety and mental health issues are a proper illness that you need steps to recover from, and that's not particularly like settled down into the society, but as it being like a white thing, I think because when you like watch TV or like when you read about mental health, it's portrayed as for example, like when you watch America and like school shootings, they always describe a shooter as someone who's mentally not well, and more or less they'll be white, and you'll end up thinking, oh,
But you know what
I'm
that
not
sucks
like
about
this.
that?
So
I feel like they
that's
get a
just-
pass for that though. For them, when a white person shoots someone, oh, it's mental illness. But if a black person does it right now, hello, it's
Yeah,
just 'cause-
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a whole political dynamic behind it, but the effect in the end ends up being that we see it as, oh, I don't want to be associated with mental health.
Do I think it's a white people thing? Definitely not. I think as Kirian said, it's like
But is that a perception that it is?
yes, I think it is, and even with the way, like at home, it will there's so many things that it's said, those are white people things, whether it's good or
it's bad.
bad. So, and then some now, even like things of colonialism will now be brought into it, of they put everything now, they were trying to bring this thing and try to make us think that and then you're like, okay, but no, because when I sneeze, you take, like, before I even sneezed and I just say, oh, my head is, you've given me anything that I need. You've made me, I don't know, lemon and ginger and blah, 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 blah. But when it's anything to do with mental health, it's taboo and it's an issue. But also sometimes I think it's, if like, not necessarily but like imagining that your parents might want to accept it or help you, blah, blah, blah.
But there's a stigma around the community.
Yeah, it's how is everyone else going to
your
look at
aunties
me?
and your uncles going to perceive you?
They're going to think that, and then if you do it, I don't know, culturally, I don't know, demon, what,
Yes.
everything is now going to enter it.
Witchcraft.
And it's, so like let's just keep this within us and really not call it what it is, because I'm scared of what the perception of my family is going to be. People because there are repercussions that you're going to face as an individual and as a family and blah 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 because of it. But I think that with the younger generation, the conversations are being had more. I'm talking to my parents more about this. About it might not like to just let oh, this is what like at school it was very much a big thing, both when I was at home and when I was here. And we always had like I think a counseling sessions regularly, blah blah blah. We had like a class that was kind of mental health class. It was called life skills though. But
I think I had that as well.
so and again it was a thing of this is such a useless lesson. We should be doing PE instead. Like let me do something fun. So even as us as the students in class, we kind of when we were younger, you zone out and the teacher's talking, but I'm out here just
You're not paying attention to what they're saying.
And when I think about it now, I'm actually like, that's a damn shame, because
I wish I had
paid attention to all the things that were being said to us then. But then there was also I know there was kids in my class, because you had to do this whole thing and the teachers would have to send letters to your parents to allow you and those kids who their parents would refuse to sign the letter, so they couldn't attend mental health class.
Wow.
So that shows that they were like, that as in the extent to it, that's a white people thing. That doesn't affect me and my child.
We don't have that stuff. We're strong.
And then there's also I think I've heard a lot of once you give it a name, you give it power. Once you put the name on it, you give it power over.
I feel like it's just the culture, the norms, the values surrounding it, though. That's why.
Yeah, but I do think that within certain communities it is changing.
It's changing.
Because of the conversation that are being had about it. Because also us as the younger generation will be more open about it and talk to because our parents or grandparents or whatever didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
So they won't know about it.
They don't know.
So part of it relies on you to talk
and even for
tell
us,
them
it's not even that
Yeah.
much. We still have to make a bigger effort for the next generation to come.
But
so it's just, I think, I don't want to call it ignorance, but I do think it's just the lack of not knowing. They're just not used to, there's no name for it. Mental health is probably came from a Western sort of, I don't think there was even a name. So for them, they're just looking at you like,
even something as probably that term doesn't exist in the local language.
Exactly, there isn't a term for that where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
And even, when you say you're upset about something, they always diminish that to just brush it off. Just get over it.
Brush it off, sleep, have some sleep, have some
Pray
rest,
about it. Pray about it.
They'll bring every pasta, you guys. like.
I mean, I can understand the religion aspect just because it's based on faith and they kind of want you to have something to look forward to. But I feel like sometimes it's brushed over because they're using that to be like, okay, yeah, just pray over it and then you come out of it. But it's not that easy. You don't know how like deep depression is because I think it's actually real and people really can go into it.
You sound like you changed your mind about it because at the beginning you said
because I was saying that I definitely think I thought it was a white people's perception and that's why I started as I just like obviously because how I grew up it wasn't really like a big thing like that. Like first of all we never really speak about mental health or even like when 13 Reasons Why came out and things like that, there was a lot of controversy about whether that should have been out there. But you just see how little things could affect, like bullying a child could affect how she would want to kill herself, or having people that actually go through it. Like I know 2 people who have gone through really, really bad depression state. Like I know someone who has been diagnosed with psychosis, like, and this has actually come from her depression. So that's, I would say, was my first eye-opener to thinking that no, okay, obviously she's black.
So it wasn't until you saw it on something.
So I saw it, and it was not just seeing it, but someone close to me.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've seen it, I've watched movies, I've heard about it. I'm like, okay, this is a good cause. But because it's never been that close to me, I never really saw it as a big deal. Then till like over here, everyone's still making a big deal about mental health, but just till it really came close to me and people that I knew were like going through it, I was like, oh no, this is actually a really big deal. This is something we should take seriously, like at all levels, like government, individuals, teams, like it can mess up your whole mood, your whole day. Like
it can mess up your whole life.
Yeah.
It really can. So I've changed my mind. It is still a white people's perceptions because we don't have our terms for it. It's not something talked about, it's a taboo, things like that. Like it's not okay to do certain things when it comes to like who really would go to their parents and be like,
and be like,
kill myself,
depressed.
like
I
it's
think
just a
that now goes
weird.
back to the relationship that you have with your parents based off of
But so it's definitely different, but I've changed my mind. I definitely think it's something like I think general and baseline with like what you're both saying is that it's like a human agenda that we need to stop thinking that it's a white people's thing, but everyone will go through like your mental health.
Mental health doesn't choose gender, race. It doesn't choose anybody. So it can happen to everyone. And I think what happens with the black community sometimes is they have been through so much, and what we go through, they see it as that's small. We've been through so much worse, and we've coped. So how come can you not cope? Do you know what I mean? They always try to compare it to what they've been through and what the ancestors have been through, and they always minimize it. They're like, oh, you broke up with your girlfriend, you'll find another one. Or you lost your job, you'll find another one. But I think what they're lacking, what they can't understand is that we are living in a different world. We cannot compare ourselves to our ancestors because we're living right now. And the pressures that we have now is not the same pressures they had before. But I do think sometimes they can be, I think they can be really harsh sometimes. Like, I know for me, I've had mental health issues. I've been hospitalized for like 2 weeks in a mental health institution. And I know when I left, sorry, I don't mean to get personal.
It's okay.
I know when I left, I had an uncle that had come to see me, and he was like, why would you do that? Why would you try to kill yourself? Are you crazy? And that made me even feel worse. I was like, this is exactly why I did what I did. Because of the stigma, because of the way. Sorry, guys.
Take your time.
But yeah, I just think we have to be careful because we cannot put ourselves in anyone else's shoes. We don't know what it is to walk in their shoes. We don't know what they've been through. And I think as the African community, I'm so glad that we're making this a normal thing to talk about. Like it's not a taboo anymore. Because I think the more we talk about it, the more it becomes accepted. And because it's very hard when you have that kind of reaction for you to speak up and for you to ask for help. It's really, really hard for you to come out of the shell if that's what you're going to encounter. You're going to encounter screaming, shouting, and not understanding and stuff like that.
And also having a good support system.
Absolutely.
Because that would just help you to be able to actually speak to someone about what you're going through. and even telling them that you would want professional help, and someone who isn't gonna like tear you down and be like, why are you gonna see a therapist, or why are you going to a hospital? Like it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So really good support system is really helpful.
So yeah, I definitely think we have to make it more. It's okay to ask for help. Honestly, that's why I always tell people it's okay. No matter what your family's gonna say, no matter what your uncles are gonna say, even if they bring all that witchcraft, oh she's got the devil in her or something like that. Don't listen to none of that. It's how you feel. It's okay. You know, it's valid. The way you feel is valid, even if somebody else can't see that. But what would you guys say to anybody that's struggling?
I think if you're struggling, particularly in an African household, I think that I think that the one way to approach it is, one, you haven't heard a name for it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And two, don't take it as, again, like something that's passive. Take it as an actual illness and take the steps towards, you know, seeking treatment for that ailment. And when I think the distinction between that is that it's really, really easy to begin thinking that this is just like a bad knack or just a bad mood, and then, you know, let that fester. But the second you make the distinction of this is something as serious as, you know, as deadly as cancer to some people, the second you make that distinction, and then you allow, you push for that distinction first in yourself, you will be convicted, no matter, you know, the pressures around you. You'll be convicted that, okay, I'm gonna, you know, seek betterment, and you follow the steps that you would with any illness. And I think it's hard, especially to do that, especially like in a scenario like yours, when, and it could be many other people living in such, you know, communities that are targeting, not just being sympathetic, not being sympathetic with, but like toxic. You know, being toxic and targeting, you know, people who are going through this, and it's not just unfair, it's not true, like it's just false, it's just, you know, it's unrealistic, and to me that's the biggest distinction. And I know, like personally, like in my family, like when my when one of my mom's mothers, it's okay, my grandfather is polygamous, but that's another story.
Whose grandfather isn't?
Yeah, so one of my mom's mothers passed away. I mean, she was going through a really hard time, and she was crying every single day. And I mean, me and my brother had never seen that, right? So what happened was that she saw somebody, and we had never seen that. We had never seen someone in our family, you know, go see somebody. And when she saw somebody, we were like, oh wow. You know, and it's good to talk about this thing. It's good to, you know, feel relief and not see, you know, have friends coming over and speaking to her. So I mean, it's not unrealistic to go through that, and I think that's what it's been made to seem, and it's not. And yeah, that would be the biggest kind of distinction to make.
I think people, if there's another takeaway that should be made is like mental health takes precedence over everything. Because that really is like, it really is the basis of a lot of the things you do, whether it's your relationship with your friends and your family, or, you know, your job, or your ability to excel at the highest level. And I really want people to understand that bottling it up is the worst thing you could possibly do. So even if you're not going to go see a therapist, at least have a person or multiple people to talk to, because not only is it going to be an outlet of like expression, it's also going to allow people to give feedback and make sure that the people that you are confiding into are not like judgmental, and, you know, they genuinely want the best for you. Because I think sometimes a mistake might be, oh, you know, you confide in this person, and the next thing you know, like they're just gossiping about your whole issues and stuff. So make sure that you talk about your issues, you address the issues, you accept the issues, because part of treatment is accepting that there is a problem in the first place. And then I think overarchingly, just as the younger generation, promote this issue, and not promote the issue just for the sake of it because it's a trend, like, oh look, mental health, #mental health on Twitter, everything, but just actually believe in it. Because I see sometimes, you know, on Twitter, like, or whatever it is, like a lot of people attach mental health just, you know, because now it's like a buzzword, you know.
Yeah, intentionalized.
And I feel like that takes away from the value of the actual like purpose of it. So if we actually not promote it, but like raise awareness in the most genuine way, I think that would be a good way to go forward.
Okay. I would say 4 main things. So the first one is obviously awareness as well. When you create awareness about something, you're not only just speaking about it, but you're actually changing the narrative, you're rewriting it, you're asking critically challenging questions that would get other people to start thinking like, oh, okay, maybe it's a big deal. Just changing people's minds, perceptions, and when you see that whole talk and debate about it, you can change someone else's mind, just like how my mind was changed. So I just think awareness is one big thing that people need to keep pushing, because once you create more awareness, other people see, and people that are going through things will start finding out about helplines or websites where they can even just talk to people about their problems, or just find different ways, or even know the symptoms if they're going through something, why they're not eating, things like that. It comes through awareness. Second one is support system again. Friends and family, if you have someone you can confide in, loved ones that you can speak to, people that you feel comfortable and can be in your own safe space with them, I would say are people you should stick with, talk to, that can just help you and guide you to do whatever you want to do, or to kind of motivate you to come out of that sense or state of mind that you're in. The third one I would say is religion. Just because basically my church in London, there were they do these focus groups during summer, and it's people that believe in God, some people that don't believe in God, some people that believe there's a God, but it's not the Christian God. They just do that just to teach people about the Bible and things like that. There were 2 girls there that basically said they were going through depression, wanted to kill themselves, things like that. Long story short, one killed herself, one ended up didn't, and one is really happy now. And I'm not saying religion is the answer, but I think it had an effect on it, because the other girl who didn't kill herself started having faith. She kind of had something to look up to and believe in, to keep her going, that was giving her strength to okay, maybe my life does have a purpose, so I shouldn't kill myself, this isn't the way to go. It was just something that kept her going. Even if it's a tree, I'm not saying believe in a tree, but if there's something like a tree that is gonna keep you going, to make you think that yes, this is why I'm going to stay on earth, then believe in your goddamn tree, because it's your only way. So I would say religion. And last one is hobbies, just because not everyone is really a talker. Not everyone I would when I call my mom sometimes, if you see on my Snapchat, I'll be I just called my mom 20 times, and she thought she had hanged up. But she goes she calls me 20 times in a day. But that's because I just like to call and I like to talk. So I would call my mom or my family. When I don't hear from them in one day, I'm wow, no one loves me. But really and truly, they're just probably tired of me, because I call them 36 times in a day. But they're just people who are not callers, who would be going through something but may not want to speak about it. So the reason why I say hobbies is because if it's you can express your feelings through poetry, reading a book, or doing a painting, gardening, these are things that can help to actually release your stress, or give you things to do, take your mind off things. And I just think that's something that can help to come out of that state of mind you're in, and you never know what that hobby could actually turn into in the end, and it's just another form of expression. So I would say those are my 4 main things as to what I think if someone is going through something, they should, and they can't talk about it, do this, or just find a great support system. It's definitely hard, it's not easy to do. So anyone who is going through that, I wish them luck, we're all there for them.
I think it's just going to be a bit of repetition of awareness. We talk about awareness, and I think sometimes we forget how important it actually is. But it's having these conversations, having conversations with your friends, with your families, with whoever it is, because you never know who you're talking to, and you never know if you're talking about someone's situation. You might be here talking in hypotheticals, but you're actually talking directly at someone. And this might be the moment that this person needed. And it can't be stressed enough. So I think conversation, an open conversation, non-judgmental conversation, where you don't have to have your guard up, are very important. And then also this whole reach out to your friends. I've learned that at uni, or I've learned more at uni, how important that is. Because you can just, like, and it's, you know the people, those people who, I don't really talk to you, but one day you just send me a random, I've really been thinking, da 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 da. And that happens to always be on my worst days. And then I always respond to this person with some long emotional something of, you have no idea how this just made me feel. Because this was the day that I've been feeling like this and this and this, and I've not gone to uni for the past week, and I've been in my bed, and I've not, like, it'll be one of those days, and then you have no idea what you're doing. And it really doesn't take long for a phone call. It doesn't take long to send a text. It doesn't take long to do it. Like, social media has made everything super easy. If you're able to actually physically see them, that's even better. But, like, don't forget the importance of communication. And then also being there for people if and when you see that your friends need an outlet. Sometimes you can't see it, but through conversations then maybe you see, like, everything kind of leads on for each other. So being there, but even being there, sometimes I found that you can feel that it's now your burden. So in my situation, one of my very good friends was going through, she had lost her mom and she doesn't have a really good relationship with her dad. She's the oldest sibling. So everything is just, and I was the only person that she could talk to. And of course, I'm more than happy to have was at home with her through every, like, funeral, da 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 da, and while her mom was sick. But I now felt that I had no outlet. And now it's burdening down on you. But I don't see it, help them in whatever way you can, but you also need an outlet somewhere, somehow, hobbies, talking to people, da 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 da, but do it consciously. Because at the same time, I don't want to now get her story and tell it to someone else who it wasn't meant to be with, because then that's now part of the rumor, whatever, because that's her story, it's for me. But if I can do something, if I can see professionally, because you also don't want to affect yourself negatively. I don't know what I've just said, but yeah, I think those are two things. And if anyone is going through this, like, it's not an easy road. It's a journey. It's not. I think sometimes with, like, the cold, I just pop
a pill, and that's it.
and it's gone. But it's a journey.
Okay, not pop a pill like that.
No, but
don't try this at home.
It can be like, you do something. I don't know, 3 times a day for 3 days, and you're cured. But it's a journey, and you're on it. There's good days, there's bad days, there's good seasons, there's bad seasons. But to always care yourself, you as you are your number one priority. If your mental health isn't right, as has been said several times, that does affect absolutely everything. Your relationship with people, your academic life, your social life, your life generally. So just take that as a priority and seek whatever help you do need. Talk to whoever you do need to talk to, and know that there's people who are there that are willing to be on this journey with you, that are willing to support you in ways that they can, any way that they can.
I think, especially for people that have depression or they're, suicidal, I will say a lot of the times when you are in that space, you don't think that you have friends and you don't think that you have family. So I know a lot of people always say you should talk to your friends, you should talk to your family, get a support group, but I'm telling you that when you get to that stage where you want to take your own life, is because you genuinely don't feel like there's anything around you. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I don't want to say that it's, I would honestly, and this is my personal opinion, my personal experience, seek for professional help, because a lot of the times people think that your family is your support system, but you have to understand that not everybody has a family. Not everybody has a close relationship with their parents, or not everybody has friends. So I know a lot of emphasis is put on that, which I completely understand, but I think it's very important for people to seek professional help, because like you guys said, it's a serious illness. And as much as you talk to your friends and your family, these people are trained. They know what to do. They know, not that they know what you're going through, but they literally studied what you're going through. Do you know what I mean? So as much as I appreciate that you should definitely be surrounded by your loved ones and your friends, but I think I'm specifically talking for depression and people that have attempted suicide. They get to that stage because they don't feel like they have anyone. So for them, I would say definitely seek for professional help. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like, you can't do that. You can. And honestly, I was very reluctant until my boyfriend like kind of forced me to do it. I was always like, why am I talking to a stranger? They don't know me. How are they going to help me? But there is power in accepting that you have an issue, because a lot of the times that's one of the main problems is you don't even know that there is a problem there, and seeking professional help can really help. And I think the onus is also on the friends and the family to not be judgmental and to just extend a helping hand, even if you don't understand, because there's things I don't understand, but just saying it's okay, it's okay. So that's what I'll end, because I'm getting emotional again. But thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you.
Thank you
for
for
having
having
me, guys. Okay. And as that child, you can get a whooping anytime. So, sound good?
Yeah.
Or no energy?
Yeah.
Say.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Okay, that's it.
Very well. Lovely.
Okay,
Next
quick pictures.
one.